Hello, crafty friends! It's Alicia here with a project for Tailored Expressions. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make an extra sparkly card for a new bundle of joy in your life. Featured on today's cards are the new Wallflowers bows, layering stencil set, foilet panels, and coordinating dies. For my sentiment, I will be using the Mini Strips Baby stamp and the coordinating Mini Strips die. I will be using the Arch Stacklets, Petite Scallop Arch Stacklets, and A2 Layer Stacklets die sets for my panels. For cardstocks, I got out Plum Tart and Sugar Cube, and for inks, I will be using Plum Tart, Honeydew Melon, Guava, Blue Cheese, and Earl Grey. For foiling, I got out my Mini Mink, TE Foil Magic Shims, and Silver Shimmer Fun Foil. I will be using coordinating blender brushes in both the regular and bitty size, and to help get nice crisp images when stamping, I'm using the exclusive TE Teal Misty and the Just Press tool. I will be using my glue press to hold everything together and adding a little extra decoration with enamel dots in Honeydew Melon. Let's get crafty! I'm going to start today with the foiling, so I turned on my machine and then using the button on the top, I set it to number 3, and while that heats up, I'm going to prep my first panel. The Wallflower Bows Foilets has 4 sheets of each of the 3 designs, and the first one that I'll be adding foiling to is the one that has the complete bow outline. I will be adding the Silver Shimmer Fun Foil to this panel and using the TE Foil Magic Shim inside of the carrier. Because I only have the Mini Mink, the 5x7 foilet panels are a little too large for the carrier and the shim. So off camera, I trimmed one down to take off the white space at the top and bottom. This still leaves it big enough for an A2 card front, and it still has the alignment squares for the stenciling. I cut down a piece of the fun foil to fit the panel, but before I put the 2 layers together, I do like to dust them off with a soft brush. The mink is now heated up and ready to foil, so I place the shim and foilet panel inside the carrier, and then I put the foil on top of the panel with the shiny side up. This then gets ran through the machine, and you'll want to make sure that you put it in with the carrier folded side first and get it as straight across as possible as you can. Don't turn off your mink just yet, set it to the side, and then you'll want to remove your panel from the carrier and the shim. You can shake this or just let it sit to cool, but I like to feel the back with my fingers, and when it's cool, you can do the reveal, which is always my favorite. I will be using the same process to foil the second panel, which for this one I chose the Wallflower Lines background. While I work on foiling this piece, please let us know down in the comment section below if you have ever foiled, and if so, what are some of your favorite colors to use. Now it's time to add color to the first panel, the bow outlines, with the coordinating stencil set. As soon as I saw this, I knew I wanted to make a baby-themed card and use Plum Tart ink. To help me choose the rest of the colors I will be using, I got out the Plum Tart Palette Playbook, and I chose the second from the bottom on the back, and because I only need 4 colors, I am going to skip the rose water. But I thought this would make a nice gender-neutral baby card. The layers of this stencil create bows that have 2 shades of the same color. Now you could definitely use 2 inks that go together, but today I'm going to show you how you can use different size blender brushes and a single ink to get that same effect. I'm going to get started today with my regular size purple blender brush, Plum Tart ink, and stencil number 1. Because I will be doing 4 total colors, I will only be adding the Plum Tart to the bows on the top, middle, and bottom rows of the stencil. I took some time and got the alignment squares all ready to go, making sure that the open areas fit within the foiled bow outlines. And once I had that, I held them in place with some removable tape. At this point, you could use some of this same tape to tape off the areas that you're not going to be blending, but I'm just going to try to be careful and not get any ink on those areas. This first stencil will be the lighter shade in each of the bows that I will be adding ink to, and because of this, once again, I'm using the regular size blender brush, and I'm using very soft blending on this. Try to be just as light as you can, and remember that you can always add more ink, but you won't be able to take it away. So I do use the clockwise and counterclockwise motions, making sure I get each of those areas colored in. Once I'm done with that first layer, I do want to keep my Plum Tart ink and purple blender brush handy, but I'm going to bring in blue cheese for the rest of the bows on this stencil. So I don't mix up any of the Plum Tart with blue cheese. I did quickly just wipe away that extra ink with a paper towel. Then once again, I used a very light hand to add the blue cheese ink to the rest of the bows. Before removing this stencil completely, I did peek underneath it to make sure I didn't need to add any more Plum Tart or blue cheese with those larger brushes, but when I knew that it had good coverage, I brought in stencil number 2 and got that set up with those alignment guides. This layer does require a darker shade of ink blending, and to make this a little easier, I'm going to be using a bitty blender brush. These brushes just seem to concentrate the ink a little more, so you can still do some light-handed blending, but the shade will be darker. Now, if you do not have two different sizes of blender brushes, no worries. Just use the ones you have, and on this second layer, you would want to make sure you use a little more pressure and a little more ink. After I added blue cheese to stencil number 2, I once again cleaned off the excess ink, and then I colored in the remaining bows with Plum Tart using my purple bitty blender brush. Now before you remove the stencil, you do again want to kind of peek under there to see if you like the shade of everything, and then once you do, you can bring in the remaining stencils 3 and 4 to add your other two colors. For these two stencils, I am using Honeydew Melon for the top, middle, and bottom rows, and Guava on the second and fourth. Once again, using different size blender brushes to get the different shades. Here's a look at the finished stenciled piece. I just love the different shades that I could get on this and those sparkly lines. Now it's time to do some die cutting. On the stenciled piece, I'm using the coordinating bows to cut out each of those. And then on the background piece, I'm using the second from largest A2 layer stacklet. As I was die cutting the bows off camera, I did lay them onto the background in the same order that they were on the original piece. I did set that center bow to the side for now because that will get added in a little bit of a different way, but for the rest of the bows I added liquid glue to the back and centered them in their little opening as best as I could. The liquid glue gives me a little wiggle room, so I have some time to get those adjusted just right. To help everything adhere nicely, I did use a couple magnets after I had each of the bows in place to hold them down while the glue dried. I finished adhering the rest of these off camera, and I also used a scrap of sugar cube cardstock to cut 3 more copies of the center bow. The card does already have a little texture and dimension with the die cut bows being adhered to the background, but I did want this center one to stand out a little bit more. So instead of using small pieces of foam tape, I adhered that stack of white sugar cube bows together and then added my green one on the top. Now that all of the bows had dried, it was time for some die cutting. I used the fourth from smallest arch stacklet die on the bow piece, and then I got out a scrap of Plum Tart and I used the fourth from smallest Petite Scallop arch stacklets die on that. I die cut the center out of that background piece, and because some of the areas did have that doubled up cardstock, I did run it through my machine a couple of times. Using a pair of long bladed scissors, I cut off the parts of the bows that were hanging outside that frame. Next, I added some liquid glue to the back of my arched bow piece and got that centered onto its scallop background. And off camera, I had made a top fold Plum Tart card base for this card, so I added the frame part with liquid glue as well. Using liquid glue always gives you a little bit of wiggle time to get everything adjusted just right. Now my arch piece with the frame or with the scallop is going to go in the center. You could definitely add this with some foam tape for extra dimension, but I wanted to keep my card a little flatter for mailing, so I once again used liquid glue and got that added in place. While that dries, let's work on the sentiment. For my sentiment today, I'm using the Mini Strips Baby Stamp on a scrap of sugar cube, and to go with the silver shimmer foil, I chose Earl Grey ink. I did set this up in my Misty in case I needed to stamp it twice, but it honestly did great the first time. So I brought in that coordinating die and took it off camera to die cut. While I was auditioning where I wanted the bow and the sentiment to go on the card, I realized I needed something to help the sentiment stand out. So I took some of that scrap of Plum Tart off camera with that same mini strips die, and I cut a little backer to offset behind it. Before I glued down the sentiment, I did go ahead and adhere the bow in place, and this was when I realized I wanted a little bit more dimension on the sentiment as well. So using that same scrap as before and the mini strips die, I cut a couple more pieces. Now one of these was longer than the backer piece, so I quickly cut that down and then layered them together with liquid glue and added it to the back of my sentiment strip. To finish the card off and add a little more shine, I brought in Honeydew Melon enamel dots and added a trio around the sentiment in that center arch. And here are some close-up looks at the finished card. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch today's video. If you enjoyed the process, a thumbs up is appreciated. And if you're not already a subscriber, we do hope you'll click on the button below so you're the first to know about our latest videos. To find out more about the products I used today, you can check out the links in the description box below or visit the Tailored Expressions online store at tailoredexpressions.com.